Shabbat Shalom to all of you. The parasha this week starts with a word Ekev. And this is the word that is the basic word for the word our father, Jacob. You know, what it means heal. And it's translated as if or because, therefore, and it's a continuation. It's a heel. The heel is what we call it is from the floor. Now, it's the lowest part of our body that is in the floor and goes up to the body. And it's a link on continuation. And here is continuing what Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to the second generation. You know, he's the grandfather now, not only the father, but now he is the grandfather. And in this message, what we are going to see is that he is still calling to his people to be faithful to their word that they gave it to the Creator, the Borei Olam, to the Creator. No, first of all, their fathers, when they were in Har Sinai, then later on, this new generation, again, they gave their word that they were going to follow this, what we call it, the commandments of God. Now, why he is so emphatically, so strong, telling them that God is going to do this, the Creator is going to help you, is going to do all these good things, don't be afraid, take the land, and all those things. But, there is always a but. If you do not do these things, there are consequences. You know, people don't like it to hear about the consequences. They like it only to hear about the blessings. And this is how we start with children. You know, it's very important about how do we take care of the children. We are right now living in a society that little by little we are changing our values. And we're in a society that supposedly we are more loose, more open and more free. That's what the people say. And you're going to see that that's not the case, you know? And we have confused with being libertine or to do whatever we want to do. We have forgotten the idea about to do what is right according to our responsibility as part of the society. No, it is true that we are free, but that doesn't mean that we can do whatever we want to do. And the 10 Commandments were the 10 words that told us about our relationship with the Creator, our relationship with ourselves, and our relationship with our neighbors. And always when we deal with our neighbors, we need to respect the neighbors. When we deal with ourselves, we need to respect ourselves. And when we deal with the Creator, we need to bow ourselves to Him. Then there is a relationship between one with the other. If you do not have a Creator, you don't have somebody who has created the world, and you do not believe in anything, and only you believe in yourself, there is something lacking on you. And so they fail in their values. And today, believe me or not, we are becoming more and more agnostic. You know, more and more people, they say, we do not need any God. We can govern ourselves. We have our values, we have our principles. You are going to see now what is going on today in the news. You know, now the most talk about it, the Middle East has passed a little bit on the one side, and they are talking about North Korea and United States. The bravado among these two countries, and they are going to bombard you, and you're going to bombard them. I always say this is a Chihuahua barking to a bulldog, you know? And the bulldog with only one paw, you can't stop the Chihuahua. But the Chihuahua can scream a lot, can make a lot of noise. But look at this, okay? I want that you see this picture today. We have the so-called progressive people. We have the advanced people. They are the one that has all the things. This is the people who tell you, believe in them, they are going to take care of you. You know, these are these people. You know, they do not like that you can enjoy your own freedom. No. They talk about freedom, but a freedom according to their standards. You know, if you do not follow their standards, you are a troublemaker, or you are somebody who is breaking their system. And I mentioned to you last week about this sense of appeasement. You know, please don't bother the little chihuahuas. You know, let them bark. They won't do anything to you. If they want to have this place, give it the place. You know, and if they bark it to go to the other one, give it the other place. But in that way, you don't create problems. And when these little chihuahuas in the world, they are barking all over, you know, and little by little they're getting more and more places. And the so-called very liberals, now they are getting themselves in a corner. And their territory is becoming smaller and smaller. And when I talk about territory, I am not only exclusively talking about a place. I am talking about your capability of being yourself, your freedom. Because now I need to be careful that I don't say or do something that will bother somebody else. I know, because if I say something against somebody else who doesn't like what I say, he will kill me. And then I need to be very careful. Then this is those who are the what do you call it in the school? You have the children that they trying to be against. But the bullies of this world are the ones that they have the centerpiece. And the Creator is saying to Israel, don't worry about these bullies. To try. But what happens as soon as a bully trying to receive a punch in the nose? They run away. When you see a chihuahua, wah, 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 and you say, whoa, the chihuahua runs to the other place. You know, this is that's the way. But we are afraid to do that. Because we do not want to take advantage of our superiority. Just yesterday, I was watching news, and you know, now there is a battle between the President of the United States with the North Koreans. You know, they both are barking to each other. You know, but what is interesting, not to talk, because you are the biggest one, okay? And let the other do whatever is doing, you know? Let the other, and this other little bitty, North Korea, is scaring the half of the world. Half of the world is scared, but only this little bitty. You know? And the United States has the power to stop it. No, don't use you. Then the question it is, if you misbehave, you cannot be corrected. Let's go back to the individual today. Today, we are under certain psychology, you know? And this psychology is a behavior of the children. It is give them a lot of freedom and let them do what. Don't correct them. You know what? Because if you correct them, you cut their inspiration. You cut their free growing. You cut their emotional being. And you make them a very bad children. But what are we doing? We are building more and more jails in the world. You know? Because children today are learning not to have boundaries. And they learn that they do not need to respect authority. They learn that they can do whatever they want to do, and there are no consequences. Totally contrary. If you are very bad, you are rewarded. If you are good, you are punished. This is the world that we are living today. And this is why Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking to his people And this, you need to understand it in this way, from the individual to the community. Always is from the individual to the community. Each one of us affect the whole community. Each one of us, we are important in the community. The community is made by the strength of the individuals. That's how the community is made. The community is not strong because of the community itself. The community is strong because of the individuals who form this community. What about if we continue in this way? What is happening right now? In the individual way, right now we are having like a revolution. The children are overpowering their parents to the point that the children are living with a mentality of entitlement. You own me. I didn't ask you to be born. You gave me life. It's your problem. Now you take care of me. And doesn't matter if I am 90 years old, you still taking care of me because you brought me to this earth. You know, and there is no sense of personal responsibility. But are you going to blame the children? Stop it there. Who are the one that they need to be blamed? Are the parents. Because the parents allowed them to be like that. We can use whatever excuse we want. But we need to start with ourselves before we point fingers to others. And it's very easy when a child has grown up without boundaries. You know, in psychology, they are going to tell you that from certain age to certain age is the time of making the child to the child to grow straight. You know, this saying that a plant or a tree that is planted crook, after a while you cannot put it straight and will grow crooked. The child is the same thing. If the child grows crooked the first years of their life, there is no way that you can put it straight. Now, and the child can say, you know, I am crooked because of my parents didn't take the time to put me straight. And you're going to see one thing. One of the greatest failures of parents is two sides. Of this supposedly extremely love of protection, okay? Extremely love of protection, that they are so scared that the child will suffer something and they overprotect the child. Or those parents that do not care about their children. They abandon the children. These two extremes. Because this is what Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us. God has chosen you. You are a special people. But you have limitations, and you have obligations, and you have responsibilities. I'm going to protect you against the enemies. But you need to follow these rules and regulations. You need to follow these basic 10 commandments. You need to follow the mitzvot, the hukim and the mishpatim. Why? Because this is what gives you life. That's what to put you straight. That is the word of the Creator giving to you wisdom to do what is right. What is happening right now? Look at the world today. Okay? We are so divided among ourselves. And their greed and all those things. People are very individualistic. They exist for the sake of themselves. And the other people who supposedly they come here to help the individuals and the nations, the only thing that they go there is to help themselves. You know, most of the politicians, most of the leaders right now are under scrutiny of being crooked. Why? Because they have used their positions to fill their own arcs and to make the rest of the people very poor. You know, it's very interesting now. In South America, we have now a country called Venezuela. This country used to be the richest country in all Latin America. That was the example. All the Latin Americans wanted to live in Venezuela. There was a massive immigration of Latin America to Venezuela. Was the center of richness and everything. People flourish, business, everything. That was the richest country. And now it's the most poor country. They are suffering hunger and everything in the nation. And who can explain it? Now, and the leaders are becoming richer and richer. That's not interesting? And they have a little group of people who protect them. And that's okay. And they are doing for the sake of the people. And what they throw to the people are crumbs. And the people are happy with crumbs. And they cannot see that living in a totalitarian country, they cannot grow up. Look at North Korea. North Korea it looks like that it's a power. And the people are starving to death. It wouldn't be because of the Western countries. At this moment, North Korea will be totally disseminated because the one that they feed North Korea are the South Korea and China and the other countries. And the only thing that they do is they keep accumulating weapons. And we, the Western civilization, the advanced people, say, shh, don't bother them. Please, don't talk too hard about them. Don't provoke them. And what are we doing? We are promoting misbehavior. When not long ago, here in this community, I had the opportunity to deal with families that they were having problems with their children. And what was very interesting is that the parents never ever corrected their children. They had this mentality. Let it be. They could do whatever they want to do. And I say to these parents, you know what is going to happen? These children are totally losing respect to authority. They didn't respect them. They didn't respect me as a rabbi. That was obvious. You know, and I say, now if they are not afraid of authority here, how much less afraid they want to be the authority of the government, for example. And I say, these children are going to end in jail. And it's not going to be the responsibility, it's going to be yours. Why? Because you did not put a stop to them when they needed to be a stop. You see, to be a parent, to be an adult, means responsibility. Doesn't mean that you accept everything that they tell you. You know, you need to speak, and you need to talk. Sometimes you cannot impose your ways, but at least you need to tell them that they are not doing right. Why? Because you care about them. Now, if they react against you, that is their problem. If they don't talk to you anymore, it's not your problem, it's their problem. There are many of us as parents, we are afraid that our children cut us. And then we are going to lose our grandchildren. And we are not going to be able to act. And the fear, and this is what we call it, that we are under pressure. You know? They are putting on us certain ways of, no, it's not kidnapping, but what's the other? Blackmailing. They are blackmailing us because we would like to have a relationship with our grandchildren too. I have seen over and over and over, and this is what Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to the grandchildren. Don't do what your parents did. And he is going to tell the story of what happened. And he's telling them like they were there. Maybe they don't even remember, but he's making to remember, you were there. And this happened. And look at the consequences for what your parents did. But in spite of that, the Creator was always with you. In chapter 8 of this parasha, verses 5, he say, talking about, he's making to remember about what happened in the desert and what they went through. And then in chapter 8, verse 5, he went to say, learn from this that our Lord, your God, was teaching you, or was training you, as a man trains his child. Keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and so follow his ways and revere him. Here they translate, and most of the translation is fear him. Okay? Revere him. Respect him. Has a reverence for the adults, for the elderly, for those ones who are wiser than you, and learn from them. Instead, you jump over them. I have seen more and more that it's very twisted now. More and more parents are suffering from their children. And right now, used to be that children will take care of their parents. Now it's parents who are taking with the children until they are very old. We have changed. We have twisted the thing that the Creator was giving to us. The map that He gave us to us from us. I don't know if you remember, but for many years I have been talking to you about the idea of emunah to bitachon. You know? Emunah means faith, and bitachon means trust. You know? And that it's very easy to people who say, oh, I believe. No? Well, how long do you believe? You know, until it's convenient to you? When you want it, or you wanted something good to happen. But the truth of the matter, it is, emunah without bitachon, there is nothing. So, faith without trust. And what I mean trust is to put on practice what you have learned. When the Creator says, Shema Israel, no? It's not the idea only that you listen in the way that we think. But Shema has beyond the understanding of only hearing, but is acting upon. Here, he's saying, you need to listen, to keep it, and do it. No? You need to do it. If you don't do it, you don't practice what you believe, what do you believe? Now, this is another problem. Most of the people understand that practicing is practicing a religion. And it's not practicing a religion, it's practicing the principles that our Creator has given to us, blessed be His name. To put in practice the values that He has given to us. It's not to do this, but it's to act upon. And you know what? Sometimes we blame the children for disobeying us. But the children observe us 24 hours a day, 24/7. And they know real who we are. Maybe we can talk nice, or we can talk straight, or maybe we can say, this is not right, that is not good. But why you talk so much is you say something, but you are doing the opposite. That is what means to shomer, to keep. I have talked to a lot of people. Some people say to me, I am a shomer Shabbat. Or I am a shomer Torah. No? I keep the Shabbat, I keep the Torah. And the question is, what it means to that? To do the basic religious things, or to really have a day in which you are in His presence? To have a day that you really left the things of the world and you dedicate it to yourself to grow in your relationship with the Creator and with others. What's good is to come on Shabbat, supposedly to the congregation, to the community, and the only thing that you have in your head is about what I'm going to do as soon as these men stop talking. Because this is many times, I have had situations they have said to me, Rabbi, you talk too much. Another thing that they tell me, Rabbi, you repeat the same thing over and over again. And when somebody say to me, Rabbi, you repeat the same thing over and over again, my answer to them is, are you practicing? I have had that situation in another country. When they told me, I went to give a conference, and the people came and said to me, you have not told us anything new. You are repeating yourself. You don't have any other theme. You don't have any other subject. Let me ask you this question. How many times we can reinvent the wheel? Because there are people who are reinventing the wheel. The wheel is the wheel. You can change the uses, but the wheel is the wheel. And what I do is you ample the understanding. You give it more perspectives about the basic issue. And this is what Moshe Rabbeinu is talking to his people. You have seen what your parents did. You have seen what they went through. And you have seen the faithfulness of the Creator that has been with you no matter what. And He has told you that if you come back to Him, even if you go astray, and you come to Him, He will receive you. I always say, my God is the God of the beginning again. Is the God who is always giving us the opportunity to come back. He's the God that always extending His hands to us. You know, we love a God that is pointing us with a finger and judging us for everything. That's all. I feel good. But when He's saying, come to me, instead to punch you with a finger, we don't like it. This is our humanity. Then, if today we complain about the situation that is going on in the world, let's stop a little while and let's see how the world has changed. And let's think if the world has changed for better or for worse. And you're going to see the truth about what is happening. The people that supposedly have the values and the principles have decided to shut their mouth. And the people who don't have values or principles are the outspoken. That is the reason that now the world listens more to Chihuahua than a bulldog. Because the Chihuahua makes more noise than the bulldog. And it's only making noise that people supposedly they are going to listen to you. It's not any longer about values. It's not any longer about principles. And the Torah teaches you values and principles. The Torah doesn't teach you about regulations and laws. It teaches you about a principle that you need to be put inside you and acted upon it. It is not 3 steps forwards and 3 steps backwards. You know how many times you bow your head. That sounds beautiful. That is totally cosmetics. What is important is what you have inside you. If taking 3 steps forward, 3 steps backward means nothing to you, and only you do it because everybody does it, you are a fake. And we have become fake. I said last week, we are becoming a community of cosmetics, a generation of cosmetics. Where for us it's more important the form than the inside. For us it's more important what people say than who we are. For us it's more important other people than what we really are. And we do not know even who we are. And the only thing that we become is imitators of others and not for the good. You know, you need to look, you need to go out. Look about the people, how they dress. And you're going to see how many people have their own standards of understanding and living, and how many people are imitators. And you're going to see how they dress, how they look. Right now, for example, to tattoo yourself is the in. The Torah says don't tattoo yourself. That was all. Who cares? Now, all the people, they tattoo. And that's very nice. And even people applaud that. Oh, okay. They have the right to do whatever they want to do. The question is, you need to be honest with yourself. I have heard so many people and say, oh, what ugly is that? Oh, I don't understand how people can be that. But don't say anything in public. It is time that we speak out for what we believe. Sometimes you need to speak out. We speak for the mute. We speak for the one that cannot defend himself. We need to speak for the values of. This is not being religious. This is being right and correct. You know, we have a way, I said also the last week, I do not believe that God has called me to be a judge of the world. I am not here to point my fingers to anybody or to judge anybody. But I am here to say to you, the other people don't have the right to impose their beliefs on me. The same way that I need to respect them, that if they want to do whatever they want to do, is their business. They do not have the right to impose their ways on me. And this is what is the problem that we are having here. Because supposedly the minorities right now, they have more rights than anybody else. And here the right is not minority or majority. The right is what we think is right and decent. And you have lost your decency. Well, you be indecent with yourself, but don't try to be indecent with everybody else. Respect others. Moshe Rabbeinu tells Israel, be careful when you are going to take the other lands. Because your temptation is going to be like them. I have said to you that one of the problems with Israel today is they want to be accepted like the other nations. And they are losing their own identity as the great nation of Israel, that special nation. We don't need to be holier than thou. That's hypocrisy. We don't need to play a game that we snubbed and our nose is higher than any others. We don't need to do that. We need to do what is right. That's all. And be clear. We allow people to insult us all the way, and we shut our mouth. It's time that we start speaking out too. It's time that we say enough is enough. You know? If you think you are right, let me tell you that I believe that I am right too. No? If you are going to impose your ways, let me tell you why you cannot impose your way to me. Because to me, they're not right. I totally agree that we do not have the right to destroy somebody, to kill somebody, to do evil to somebody. That is, we have been made to the likeness and image of the Creator, and life is sacred. We need to do that. But when we are under attack, who say that we don't need to defend ourselves? Who say that we need to receive whatever insult they are throwing us, and we say, thank you. It is time that we look at the things for what they are. Moshe Rabbeinu tells to Israel, God has taken all these diseases and given to your enemies, but if you be like them, you're going to get the same thing, the same treatment, because you're not better than they are. Chapter 9 of this, he say to Israel, verse 7. I like this portion because it's so clear for us, especially to Israel. Don't put themselves in a pedestal. Remember, never forget how you provoked the Lord, your God, in the desert. From the very day that you left Egypt until you arrived here, you have been rebels against the Lord. At Horeb, you provoked the Lord, and the Lord was so angry with you that he was ready to destroy. I has gone up to the mountain, and he interceded for us, Moshe Rabbeinu. There is no that we are better than anybody else, And then he say, there is a people greater than you that you're going to cross this nation. No, the Anakim. As you know, you have heard the saying, we can stand up to the sons of Anak, and the Lord your God himself will go ahead of you, destroying them like the devouring fire, and that he himself will subdue all of them before you. Promises of the God that he is going to be with Israel. But when he's going to be with Israel, we need to look at that. Because Israel is doing what the Lord has told them to do. There is no free thing. As many people want to teach you now, everything is free. The Creator does something for you, you need to bring something back to the Creator. And what do you bring something back to the Creator? Your own behavior, your actions. In chapter 7, the Lord say, you may say in your heart, these nations outnumber me. How shall we be able to dispossess them? Do not be afraid of them. Remember that the Lord your God treated Pharaoh and all Egypt, and the greatest ordeal that you have seen, the signs and wonder, the mighty hand, the stretched arm with the Lord your God brought you out of this. It is how the Lord your God will treat all the people whom you fear to face. And that's what is more, the Lord your God will send hornets, and they're going to do this. Do not be afraid of them, for the Lord your God is with you in them. But then they say, in verse 22, and the Lord will clear all the way of the nation. You cannot destroy them at once, or wild animals will breed and the disastrous for you. The question here is, which wild animal do we have today? What are the things that we are so fearful of? Huh? The fear that we have is inside us. You know, the fear is about what is going to happen if I do this. You know? And I am totally paralyzed of fear. And the Creator say, don't be afraid. Act. Do. Work on it. What are your fears? That you're going to be alone? What are your fears? That you're going to be abandoned? What are your fears? That you're going to live without anything? What are your fears? That you're going to die? What are the fears that you are facing? And deal with those fears in front of God and tell Him, I am afraid of this. Please help me to deal with it. Israel was not chosen because they were the most righteous. And Israel was not chosen because of the attitude. God destroyed the other countries because they were worse than Israel. Let's not take certain attitude that we are better than the others. Totally the contrary. Let's humble ourselves before the Creator and allow Him to work in us. Like I say, to hear the word of God and to act upon His word of God is to do it. Not only to do hearing or listeners, but to act upon. How many people knows all the commandments of God by memory? The question is, are you putting in practice? Are you acting upon that? This is what is more important. Oh, I go to a place of worship every day that I need to go. And I am always doing this. I'm praying very hard. And that sounds beautiful. But how are you living? How you are acting with other people? How you are doing to other persons? How you being part of the community? Are you responsible? Or only is cosmetics? It's only externals. Because this is why it's so important, especially to the young people. They are tired of looking about the hypocrisy of the adults. And they are reacting to that. Then let's not blame the new generation. Because the new generation is a product of us. Until the parents don't say to the children, enough is enough, and you need to be correct, and you need to act. It's easier to let the children do whatever they want to do and to correct them. The Creator never ever get tired. And He say, because He loves us, He corrects us. True love is when you correct your children, not when you allow them to do whatever they want to do, as our Heavenly Father, blessed be His name, did with Israel. Shabbat Shalom.